How's it going, guys? In this video I wanted to address a question I got recently from a viewer, and that is regarding the mental health aspect to going to college, and specifically UC Berkeley, because UC Berkeley is known for being a very competitive school with a lot of very difficult classes and grading. And so I wanted to take a chance to kind of talk a bit about how I approached it and what worked for me and what didn't work for me, and just tell people, if you were just admitted or if you're wondering what it's going to be like at Cal, this is what my experience was like. And so, the way I looked at it, and I continue to look at it in hindsight, is it was really kind of an opportunity to learn more about yourself and the kind of people that you like and the kind of people you don't like. And that's kind of the purpose of college. No matter where you go, there's going to be people that you do like and you don't like, and Berkeley honestly is no different. There's a very high bar, there's high expectations placed on students to study really hard and join labs and do extracurriculars and be very impressive and get that nice job at the end of it. And so it does create a very competitive environment, but at the same time it also creates an environment of cooperation, because what people learn implicitly along the way, based on my experiences, is that you are better together. You are stronger and able to tackle bigger challenges when you are in a group of people who you work well with. And so the biggest challenge wherever you are in life, and even if it's not in college, is finding that right group of people who you can work with and who can be there for you and you can be there for them, and you're strong where they're weak and they're strong where you're weak. And it just forms this really great relationship where the sum is greater than the whole of its parts. And it sounds cliche, and when I was going through orientation at UC Berkeley, they were saying the same thing, which is basically, make friends and study really hard and do your best, and we expect excellence. And so it's kind of, a lot of this stuff's just going to come off as hollow, to be frank, but until you go through it and until you experience it, it's going to be just words. And what I would say to myself before I started college is just, it's going to be really tough, and you're going to have to grow and step outside of your comfort zone a lot, and that's going to hurt. It's going to be challenging. And to be frank, though, that's why you're in college. You're going to college because you want to push yourself outside of your comfort zone and see what you can really do and learn more about a particular field. And just going to college, and UC Berkeley is one example of a place where you can go where you're going to be surrounded by tons of people who are really passionate and excited about something. So if you were a chemical engineer like me, you're going to be around a lot of other people who care a lot about chemical engineering. And chemical engineering as a whole has so many different disciplines in the petroleum industry or the pharmaceuticals or energy. There's so many different areas in chemical engineering. So you kind of will, while you're in college, learn more about, I'm really interested in process control and its applications in batch systems, and how, we can start optimizing chemical processes at Genentech to do stuff. And so very quickly, you're going to find yourselves into groups of people who are very passionate about these things too. And you're going to be able to find labs that are doing work that you care a lot about yourself. And so, it's what you make of it. And it can be said of basically life as a whole. Do I think that UC Berkeley is so competitive that it would be detrimental to people's mental health? Not necessarily. I think that basically it's all about your mindset, and I'd say probably one of the biggest challenges you're going to face at UC Berkeley, from my experience, is just learning how to stay level-headed and calm when you need to be, because there's going to be a lot of work, and you're going to have to be okay with not being able to do everything that you wish you could have done, but you do the best you can with what you have, and you take it from there. And you also learn what are the people that you can work well with, and you're going to learn what study habits work well for you based on what class you're in. And it's going to hurt the first time you get a test back, because it's going to be a lot lower than you're probably expecting. And for me, the trick to that was basically learning how to not care about what my grades were, because I just would always do my best because that's all I could do. It was really simple. And fortunately, I never failed any classes, but I just always gave it my best shot. I would try really hard to figure out, what is the low-hanging fruit here, because I have finite time and finite energy to spend on studying, because I didn't want to be one of those people who spent all my life studying. I wanted to do other things outside of school that I enjoyed, like working at a pharmaceutical company, learning more about technology, riding my bike every day, which I did do, and I would ride my bike every day, even in the rain, because I just loved riding my bike and being outside. And so just having these other things in your life besides school, for me, was something that really helped me out when I was in college, because if all I was doing was college and learning more about chemical engineering, I would burn out, because, as much as I enjoy learning the nuances behind some of these things, if that's all you're doing, it becomes so numbing and boring that it's hard for even people who do care a lot about it. So, variety is the spice of life is a quote that I think applies here, because basically it's like, just keep yourself engaged doing other things. So like for me, I was riding my bike after school every day. I was riding my bike to and from school. I was hanging out with my friends. I joined some labs. The labs I joined weren't really all about chemical engineering. They were about other things like chemistry, NMR, some biotechnology, and studying neurons. So it's, even though I was a chemical engineer, I was doing a bunch of biology and chemistry and physics stuff that I found to be pretty enjoyable, and I was also making some automation systems on the side in my labs that I thought was super awesome. So basically, for me, having a variety of stuff you're working on kind of just helps keep everything interesting, so you're not too zoned in on one thing all the time. And that's something that, I think at UC Berkeley you will find a lot of very easily, because you can jump down deep into anything you want. You just gotta be persistent. And I think probably like the first semester I was at Cal, the thing I really took away was just how to be a lot better at introducing myself and getting to know people. And I wish I read this book sooner, but it's from Andrew Carnegie, and it's How to Win Friends and Influence People. And there are some stigmas associated with this, but basically it's not brown nosing. I think of it as, if you genuinely want people to be interested in you, the first step is to be interested in them. And so like when you're in a lecture hall, and I'm very introverted, just introduce yourself to someone and ask them, what's your major and what are you working on and how's your homework going, or stuff like that. Just show them that like you're interested in learning more about them, because you genuinely are, because you want to see if this is potentially someone that you want to, study with or get dinner with or something. I don't know. But basically, pushing yourself outside of that comfort zone. So for me, being introverted, stepping outside of that comfort zone of, just basically keeping to myself the whole time and trying to get to know people was something that, I pushed myself to do when I was in college, and it helped me make some friends. And I also got to know a lot of people who were really good at a lot of things where I was really not good. So it was a really good time to just grow and learn and do the best I could with what I had. And I wasn't perfect. I didn't get a perfect GPA. By the end of it, I got a 3.5 GPA, and frankly, I don't even care what that number is, because it's more about the experience than anything else. And, people who are working really hard to get that 4.0 GPA, it really only matters, and not even that much, for your first job out of school. I already had a job. I already knew that my experience mattered more than what my GPA was in college. So basically just view college as kind of this thing where it's like, your goal is to graduate, but also I would say your main ultimate goal is to just learn and try new stuff and see what works and get to know people and make friends who are probably going to be with you the rest of your life, and figure out what kind of fields you want to go into. That is the main purpose of college. And that is the main purpose of UC Berkeley too, is to just explore. And I think part of the motto of UC Berkeley, and I should be shamed for not knowing this more exactly, but it's let there be light. Basically, where there is darkness in your life, let there be light. Find out, are you really passionate about music? Are you really passionate about journalism? Are you really passionate about English or science or some kind of engineering? Basically just push yourself, step outside that comfort zone, see what it is that you care about, see what it is that society needs right now, and just push yourself to dive deep into it and see if it's something that you can do well with. And so, it's going to involve a lot of failing. And I remember during my commencement that there was a speaker who was talking about, basically what we learned in college, the most important thing that he thought we learned in college was how to fail and how to get back up after failing. And I agree in large part to that. I think that that is very accurate in terms of that is probably one of the most important skills you're going to get out of going to UC Berkeley or any college, which is, what do you do when you're knocked on your ass? Are you someone that's going to just sit there, or are you going to get back up and try to figure out, is there a different way to do this? And are you going to keep going? And, who's going to be there to help pick you up when you need it? When, it's the night before a midterm and you don't know anything about NMR, what are you going to do? Who are you going to turn to? Who's going to be there for you? And so that's kind of the important thing here. And so, I am here to help anyone who wants to learn more about UC Berkeley or what it's like. I think it's a great school. I think also that, you can have a great experience wherever you go. I don't want to be subjective and tell you that Berkeley's the only place you can go or should go. I think, you can have a great experience wherever you are, and, just push yourself to do the best you can with what you have, and know that Berkeley is a great city with great people and great research opportunities. And I loved it. And, I cried when I graduated, because it's not, for me, it was more about just, I really knew I was going to miss a lot of the people I was around and a lot of the opportunities I had, like being in the labs and the postdocs I had. I really do miss them, and I miss that experience that I used to have with them every day after school, just being able to walk in somewhere and be around people who I thought were really cool, who cared about similar stuff. And, I got to learn more about them and how they approached problems in this world. And so, it should be a great experience. It's going to be challenging, and, just push yourself to keep fighting every day, and you're going to find support. There's going to be people out there who want to help you. As competitive as Berkeley is, as high as the standards may be, you will find people in those lecture halls by introducing yourself to people who actually do care about you and actually do want to see you do well. And you'll have friends and family who are also supporting you. And, I hope I can support you in some capacity and just tell you that you can do this. And, all the stuff you can do. And just put your mind to it, keep the right mindset, and set your goals, set your expectations, push yourself outside your comfort zone, make it happen. And, at the end of the day, just keep going. And thank you all for watching. I hope this video is useful or helpful for some people. And let me know if you have any questions. Please stay safe and take care out there, and talk to you next time.